And welcome back to 4 Deep Sports Talk here at WARA 1320 or online at 4deepsportstalk.com. I'm Jacob Janicki here, and today we're with the new Portsmouth Abbey head coach, Silas Copeland.
You guys doing?
He did a great job. I got a little nervous on that. He kind of paused.
Yeah. His first day back in 3 weeks.
That's
finally
right.
back in the chair. Feels
Vacation's
good.
over, Jake.
Yeah, vacation's over. Feeling good.
That's awesome.
After the holidays.
Yeah. So, you want to get into what are your past experiences as a coach,
So everyone
as
get
a
to know you.
player?
Yeah. So, first off, I want to thank you guys for having me on. It's great to be able to just talk about our program, and I am really a very small part of that. Really, it's about our players and our administration and everyone who's involved, who is really helping us build a very both good product on the field, but mostly about the community that we're building off of the field. My experience is obviously pretty deep within my football roots. Originally from Ohio, played high school ball out there.
Really?
Yep.
That's why you get that etiquette.
Really great town. Played for Hall of Fame coach Phil Annarella. Played for Bo Pelini, and transition. Played in college as well. Where
What college did you play at?
so at Kent State, great experience there. One of the biggest
Wow.
things I think I learned is just the process and what it takes to get to some of those higher levels. I was really blessed for the opportunity to play at other levels as well, going on playing semi-pro, having different opportunities for tryouts, and it was really a humbling experience at the same time, because what I always tell our guys is, no matter how high that you end up accomplishing, one day you're going to have to put those cleats in, and from there you just hope that the game can give something back to you, which I was blessed in my experience of being able to start my coaching career after.
Where did you start your coaching career?
So I first started with just doing a lot of one-on-one type of training, getting athletes ready who just wanted to be prepared in numerous different positions. Some of the things that people don't realize through the aspect of playing as well as coaches, that there is a lot of knowledge that you can gain in a osmosis type of role. So I really started to focus in on that aspect of behind the scenes. I was always really close to my high school coaches, college coaches, and really just learning the process, because I eventually wanted to get into this side as well. So I started behind one of Rhode Island's Hall of Fame coaches, Michael Sassy, at St. Ray's Academy. Very good, strong program, Catholic school that has a lot of ties within the Pawtucket community. They really opened up their arms to me after I was doing a lot of training. I happened to be working with one of their players, and Coach brought me in, gave me a little bit of a good test to see how much my knowledge was around the game, and hired me right away, and I was on that staff for about 6 years. Really learned the ins and outs around scouting, really how to break teams down, really how to view things from the lens of a coach. I worked both on the field and in the box to get sort of that dual look through the lens of a game, and really just learning how he became a Hall of Fame coach. He started out when he was younger as well. He's still young. He'll probably kill me for saying that. But he he was a coach that was very young when he started out as well. He was a young head coach. So I just tried to absorb what I could from his process, knowing that one day I wanted to be a head coach as well.
Where is your specialty at? I know that your previous coaching position before you became the head coach, you were on the defensive side of the ball. Have you always been on the defensive side of the ball?
So actually, I've bounced back and forth throughout my career. A big part of what I try to do is, regardless of what side of the ball that I am locked in and focused on, through the off season, I'm always working on the other side. So that's sort of how I try to balance making sure that I'm a well-rounded coach. And I learned that from a lot of the coaches that have mentored me as well. I didn't just get to the position I got today just by chance. There was a lot of people who supported me, a lot of people who pushed me and taught me many things throughout my journey as well.
What position did you play when you played throughout your career?
So I was a defensive back, but I actually was one of the first. I shouldn't say one of the first, but when the Monster 4-3 was sort of just making its way into high school and college ball, I was one of those first players who sort of played that role, which was basically like a safety off ball who could roll down into the box, but also be able to play man coverage and be able to play zones, really. So learning that position actually was a big blessing in disguise, because I had to know what they were doing up front, as well as linebacker, as well as behind me if I were within the coverage shell. So it was a really good experience. It was tough because I had to bounce through a lot of meetings, and what I realized then was organizational skills was going to be something that was going to be important, not just on the field, but off the field. So it was a great experience to be able to really learn that the process isn't just what happens on the field. You have to sort of have a toolbox that you could count on the back end to be able to retain all that information. And football then became sort of like a class for me. I felt like I was majoring in it.
As a young guy yourself, as a new head coach, first time as a head coach, what kind of system are you looking to implement at your school and your team?
So the good thing that we have right now is we won't have to change too much when it comes on the defensive side of the football. We had top defense in our league last year, so we're hoping to continue to replicate that throughout the year. But obviously, new year, new guys, people graduate, so a lot of our players are in the role and know that they'll have to step up. Offensively, we'll be more based through the West Coast style system, so more of that traditional under center you'll see a lot of. We'll still do a lot of the spread piece, but we're really trying to merge some of those old school type of tendencies while blending in some of the new school with it.
Have you had a lot of turnover as far as graduation and stuff, or you got a lot of core coming back?
So we definitely had a lot of good players that were older that graduated, that definitely really set a great foundation and standard for what we want to do at Portsmouth Abbey football. But the real core of our team and leadership is actually within our underclassmen, which is really great to see. We have some really strong players who were league winners, who were extremely young, freshmen to sophomores, who are now going to be sophomores and juniors. And what we've done is really try to bring in a class that really gels and fits. Culture is a big piece of what we do, not only just within the aspect of playing on the field, but also within the community through our school and what it means to truly be a Portsmouth Abbey Raven.
All right, you've been holding out on us. I just looked you up again because I'm not I'm not as quick as these two guys. So you have a doctrine?
Yes.
You never said that.
No,
What's your doc? That is so cool.
Thank you.
I'm looking at Dr. Silas Copeland, and I'm looking at you. I'm looking at the words. I'm looking at you, watching Jimmy give you a question, and Jake. And I'm looking at it again, like, Dr. Silas Copeland. So what's your doctorate in?
Yeah, so it's in sociology with a minor in sports psych.
You did mention that, but you didn't. God bless. You're a very humble, smart man. I'll tell you that. That's for sure. Wow, that is so cool. So cool.
Thank you.
And you said you went to. We got to get more information. Now this guy's really good enough.
He's going to Kent State.
Yeah, with there.
Yeah, right.
I got the.
At least I picked that up. I mean, at least the
That's
cobwebs
pretty good.
came off that
It's
side.
not exactly small potatoes as
Yeah.
a school.
Yeah,
got
exactly.
the PhD at the
awesome.
Ohio State University.
Oh, only at
I
the
was
Ohio State.
I was
Okay,
able
all right.
to get a really good education and an opportunity to be one of their first dual doctorate people that they had. So it was an opportunity that came. I was able to apply, and thank God I was able to get it, because I don't think I could have afforded it.
Hard work. Hard work, coach.
During that time, what were you doing, like football wise?
So during that time, I was still coaching, actually. So it was a bit of a whirlwind. I actually worked on that about 3 years ago. And through the process, it was really important to me of understanding that if you're coaching, when you're coaching high school football, and when you're telling your guys to really elevate and push themselves, to me, I believe that you should also be doing the same thing. So if I'm telling my players that it's important to go to class, it's important to have academics, because later in life, that is what's really going to be able to carry you and hold you and your family together when you really need to, find a job sometimes when it's tough out there. And for me, I just felt that it was important to show that I also had that same type of motivation and energy, and that
Absolutely.
I should be also pushing myself in those aspects too. So
Lead by example.
yeah, exactly. Because it's real easy to tell somebody what they should and shouldn't do, and sort of rest on your laurels of what you have done. And I decided that it'd be a good opportunity to push myself and to really practice what I preach to my guys. So I was blessed to be able
Absolutely.
to.
Like you said, culture's a big thing, and you can be a living example of that to your kids. Not only on the football field, but like you said, in life in general, and that's huge. That's great to have that kind of culture.
Absolutely. So we're going to take our first break. If you want to call in, I apologize for not getting the number out there. 508-222-1320. We have the head coach over at Portsmouth Abbey football, Dr. Silas Copeland. We'll be back with him and more right after this. Hey, welcome back. You are listening and watching 4 Deep Sports Talk here on the news station. 1320 AM WARA and online, all one word, 4deepsportstalk.com. We have the head coach over at Portsmouth Abbey football, Silas Copeland. I'm still impressed with the doctrine. I still think that's wicked cool, but that's just me. Want to call in? 508-222-1320. And Coach was nice enough to give us his calendar. So this is what we got going on. We got Media Day September 12th, recruiting team profile showcase. Again, September 12th, September 19th. They have a scrimmage against Roxbury Latin. Is that home or away?
That will be away. That'll be at their place. We usually do home and away with them. It's been really good. They run a very good, strong program. Great staff over there as well. Nice to go into the season being able to get some work in with them because they are always going to be physical, well coached, and it really gives us an opportunity to make sure that we have those two elements as well.
Awesome. Then we go. They start at home September 26th. They're playing the Groton School, and that's Connecticut. That's a Connecticut team.
That's actually going to be a Mass school, so we'll be playing them at home. That'll be also our alumni weekend. So a lot of our guys are looking forward to it. Big for the school. We're actually going into a really good, important part of our school's history as well this season. So we're really looking to make sure that, especially in the fall when school's coming in, it's a big time, not only just for high school sports, but also to really get the year going. The school year starts off, and being in football, we are blessed to have the opportunity to really bring some of those positive vibes, good vibes on campus. So that's going to ultimately be what our goal is.
Awesome. October 11th, they're away against St. Luke's School. October 10th, St. George, home. Then they have another home game on October 17th, New Hampton School. They go on the road on October 24th against Austin Prep. That's the one in Mass, right?
Yes.
Right? And then they play Canterbury. I almost pronounced that wrong. They have 2 away games, the 24th and, like I just mentioned, the 31st against Canterbury. They come home on my birthday on November 7th. Just I thought I'd get that out there.
So we'll see you there.
You're right. Panagrini School, November 14th. Worcester Academy away. They finished the season. And then the bowl games. If
eligible, right? So we have to take care of business, do the things that we're supposed to. That's going to be invitation-only basis.
Okay.
And your record's going to be a big part of that invitation.
And I got to give my son a big shout-out. July 8th was his birthday. Happy birthday, Steve. And I sent him a message. He doesn't call me back anymore. He's too cool, you know. Parent for 3 kids. You don't get time to call his father. But happy birthday, son, again on July 8th. So, Coach, let's talk about I got all these things. These guys, I try to play up these guys the best way I can. So do you guys play NHSF rules in your league?
So we actually play college rules in our league. So
he knows all about that.
Oh, yeah.
I know a little bit about rules, yeah.
So we follow sort of that format, being that we're a prep school, which I enjoy. I think it's awesome because it only makes sense, right? If you're going to be prep school, getting guys ready for the next level, it's good to have them playing by those rules as early as possible.
There's not much difference in NCAA rules to Federation rules.
Well, you said it was always safety, like it's more safety.
Federation is more. There's more safety implementation into the rules.
100%.
But I mean, football's still football.
Right.
I've had this conversation with other officials, friends of mine, and stuff that you know, the first year we went to Federation rules, it was crazy because I'm driving to a game with a guy, and he was a white hat in the game, and he was all nervous, and I'm like, what's the problem? And he's like, you know, all these rule changes and signal changes, and I looked at him, and I don't want to mention his name, I don't want to embarrass anybody, but I was like, you know, it's still football. Football is still football. Holding is still holding. DPI is still DPI. There's minor changes here and there, but NCAA rules is not much different. So, I mean, from Federation rules to NCAA rules, which we used to, in Massachusetts, we used to play by NCAA rules.
Yeah, John Doe, we won't, sorry, I didn't mean to say that.
So it's not that big of a difference. The game of football is still the game of football. You still have to block, you still have to tackle, you still have to, you know, score points and kick field goals and whatnot. And so it's not that big of a difference. So to really
nit and pick about it, it's really
nitpick. You know, the difference in rules is not going to change the game. I could go to Portsmouth Abbey, for example, and even though we've been in federation rules for like 5 or 6 years now, I can
Yep.
still go there and do a game on the
Definitely.
NCAA rules. It's not going to be any different to me.
Right.
You know, as an official, it's holding is still holding. DPI is still DPI. You know, so people like to overemphasize. You know, they don't like change,
Right.
and they get crazy about it. But football's still football.
That's
So,
it.
Coach, what's your mail enrollment for the school?
So-
rough number.
Rough number is about 250.
So that's a good
300.
size school.
Yeah, so
that's,
we're
that's like
we're
a
pretty
vote tech,
decent.
right? Isn't it like a
Pretty
vote?
decent
Yeah, I would say
size.
so.
Like Diamond or something?
yeah.
Yeah, we're not a large school by any means
Right.
in terms of full enrollment. However, what I will say is, that's sort of how you balance it through the prep world. Sometimes you'll have some schools with larger enrollment, different classes have different aspects to it. However, the talent level, I think, is what you really see in terms of seeing, a collection of talent at schools, whether small or big, where those high-end players, those really good players, kind of tip the scale a little bit more.
Right. When you're in a position like you are at your school, for
Right.
example, where you can go out and recruit
Right.
and
Yeah.
bring plays, and it makes a big difference. You get
100%.
some of these small schools like in the state of Massachusetts, for example, that don't recruit
Right.
and can't. There are schools, bigger schools. I won't mention school names, but
Right.
that do recruit.
Right.
But it's a big difference when
Yeah,
you can recruit
and I think-
compared not to.
Right. And I think now with just football in general and competitive people do competitive things, right? So I think everyone is always trying to find an edge, trying to find, how they can better their programs, how they can, take their team to the next level. And obviously there's rule and regulations for every league, for every level. But I think that was one of the more inviting pieces around coaching through the prep world, is to sort of have that opportunity to be able to build the team in your vision, work with guys that you have established relationships over time, because you are getting to know them, their families, through the recruiting process. And it really makes those Saturdays really meaningful, when you're spending time with those players that you establish those connections from years early. If you're recruiting a kid, who's coming to play as a freshman, you've usually established some contact as a 7th, 8th grader. So it's really intimate relationships that you have, I think, in prep football. And it really, to me, helps my process, because I believe in the mentorship that goes along with coaching. I don't look at those two things separate. So when you're able to have the opportunity to mentor some of the guys outside of football too, it really resonates with them and their families as well.
Right, and I've known Silas quite a few years now, and getting into the recruiting thing, you just came back from a football experience that I want you to speak about.
So was over in Europe, went to Sweden and Denmark.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it was really awesome. Was in Uppsala first in Sweden, then went down to Esbjerg and Denmark, which is not far from Copenhagen. That's pretty much a well-known place as well. And the experience was phenomenal. It was my second year joining on the staff and being selected to work with the guys. I primarily worked with the defensive line, and it was a awesome experience. It's a lot of talent, a lot of guys in Europe who are essentially just looking for the opportunity to come over and play. And a lot of times through the prep world, what's really cool, not just our team, but teams across the landscape have the opportunity to work with families and athletes from all over the world. And because of that, I think it really adds to the diversity of football and just, taking the borders off of where you're playing and how you're playing. And I find it really special. And, really blessed to have that opportunity to go ahead and do that.
I really don't know how he does it. I mean, being a young man, a new dad,
Yeah.
having a youngster at home and stuff, and he's all over the place, all these camps everywhere. And speak about some of the camps you've been to.
So camp season is among us and still going. We're heavy in it. We started out the spring having our Breakthrough Elite tournament. That's something that I've been able to join Stanley Dunbar, who is the new head coach over at Suffield Academy. For a number of years, we've been connected, and he has really been a strong resource and friend in my small community as well. And coaching with him and having the opportunity to start out the spring at our Prov City Classic, which was held in Cranston, Rhode Island. Pretty large, had a number of Division I athletes who competed in it. Elite is pretty much the name of the game over there. So anyone who was top level that played a skill position was pretty much a part of that. So spring started out fast, and then pivoted to the Ascension Elite camp that I have been doing with Coach Hartman, which he is actually has a lot of ties with Massachusetts as well, with Ascension Elite, which is another camp that is just helping guys get familiar with the process of recruiting while also showcasing their talent in front of over 30 different colleges. We pivoted into that to the Bone camp that I did the linebackers, coached the linebackers at, and that's one of the best camps, I think, in New England. Springfield College hosts that and does a really good job right in Springfield, Mass.
That's a ride.
Yep, it's well worth it too. We had guys from all over New England there. Pack Performance out of Massachusetts, which anyone who's listening and has a kid who is training or looking to get trained through that work. Jay Fielding's one of the best. He's the head coach over at Andover High School. And in conjunction with that, he's been a really strong mentor and friend as well through our connection. And now we just pivoted to yesterday. I was in Boston with Divine Movement. So anyone who is looking to get work as a running back, working in connection with a lot of both current college Division I athletes, Coach Godson, who's doing an amazing job down in Boston in terms of getting guys ready to play at a high level as well. So,
like I said, I don't know how he does it.
Crazy circuit this year.
I'll go out on a limb and saying you like football.
Right. All right,
And I'm sure your wife likes football too. Right?
She has to.
All right, we're going to take
But it's great.
second
It's
break.
great what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sorry. We're going to take our second break. I just want to make sure we get enough time in each quarter. We'll be back with the head man over at Portsmouth Abbey Football. We'll be right back. Remember, you can call in 508-222-1320.
And welcome back to 4 Deep Sports Talk here at WARA 1320 AM. Here with the new head coach of Portsmouth Abbey. And I want to start off I'm a big advocate for saying that high school sports is more than just like athletics. It's about teaching your kids stuff that they'll take on through the rest of their lives. So what's like one, I know you already touched on it a few times, but what's one thing you want your players to leave with outside of just athletics and football?
I think if you ask my players, which hopefully you guys will get the opportunity to, I have just really great kids who come from really great families. So for me, it's really important that I'm helping them fill all the gaps. One of the biggest ones I think that I am in charge of really is the accountability piece. And I don't think that's something that just goes for players, but our coaching staff, we take that same approach too. So a big part of that is just being accountable to where you're at, what you're supposed to be doing, and being a good person through it all. So a big piece that we always talk about in our program is being consistent and being accountable. And being accountable doesn't mean that you're going to be a perfect player or a perfect person. You're going to make mistakes, right? You're going to have days that aren't as good as others, but really, are you holding yourself accountable? I always say you are the only person who knows you're 100%, meaning I can always tell you that, hey, you need to go 100%, but only you internally knows what that looks like and what that is, right?
That's a great point.
I can have an idea of what that is and what I believe it looks like, but truthfully, only you know that internally. So I always try to tell our guys to, be accountable to themselves first. And if you're being asked to give 100% in something, if you're driving yourself every day to give 100% in the game of football and your academics, only you really know what that looks like as far as putting it in. So that's a big piece. And then being consistent, meaning always showing up in an aspect ready to go. Be consistent in everything you do, building your habits, right? We talk about being mentally strong along those lines, and that goes into our academics as well. We talk about having the physical part of being consistent, right? Making sure that you're staying up on your weight programs, on your eating habits, on your sleeping habits, right? All of those things that are very easy. I was a kid before. It was a long time ago, I think. But those things that are difficult to hang on and to do so. But when you talk about your goals and what your aspirations are, my style of coaching is I take those on. So if a player comes up to me and they're saying, hey, I want to go to the next level, that becomes my goal as well. And what I try to put best forward is giving them those tools that I believe will help them achieve those types of goals.
Well, I think just by listening to you and your philosophy on the game and outside of the game, I think you're going to be very successful as a head coach. I know your success as an assistant coach, but as a head coach, I think you have the right idea, the right focus. Everybody always talks about how football is family. You hear it from the NFL all the time. Football's family, all their advertisers. But I think by listening to you, you're really getting that message out there and really conveying that where, you're showing kids that, hey, look, I'm not only the coach, but I want you to succeed off the field.
Right.
And I think, unfortunately, a lot of places, schools look at athletics and, it's all about winning. We have to win, we have to win, we have to win. Winning's great, but by what you're saying, winning's secondary.
Yeah.
And making good people is more important. And I think you're conveying that through your message.
Definitely. Yeah. I tell the guys, and they'll anyone that I've coached or Trey will tell you, I wouldn't win every game that I'm involved in, right? But at the end of the day, there's there's a couple of factors in it, and there's some gray with that, right? There's team goals, and then every player who's putting their own heart, soul into it, every family, they have individual goals for their sons. So to me, I think it's important that those individual goals are also something that we as coaches have to take on and take seriously as well. And whether that is to go to a certain level of school academically or go to, a higher end school athletically. I think whatever that child's path is, if you are involved in a part of their life, you really should be trying to drive them to reach those goals. And we know how it is when you're younger. There's a lot, and I can't even imagine being in these guys' shoes with this day and age when you look at social media and the expectations that a lot of these kids feel through the pressure of just the world and the access that they have. So I think for me, I try to bring them back down and sort of have more of a grounded experience through the coaching aspect where their world is something that I'm trying to also incorporate into my style of coaching, making sure that I'm, not putting my own expectations and own feelings onto players, teams. Forward,
like you said, individual goals are great, but football is a team sport, and part of coaching is getting those individual goals all heading in the same direction.
Exactly.
To have team success.
Exactly.
Right. So I coached football for 10 years at Bristol Plymouth, and I did youth football for many, many years, almost 20 years. In your experience, what is the hardest thing, like lingo-wise, to convert from a young kid into like the, varsity high school football level?
Yeah, so for us at Portsmouth Abbey, we run like a college pro style system, and our program is built that way.
Yeah, how do you dumb it down, I guess is my question.
So I guess a part of it is that there is a piece of it that can't be.
Yeah.
And I say that for the aspect of when players are being recruited to go play at another level, it's always a huge reminder for them that these college coaches, this is their livelihood and their well-being. So when they are signing up to say that, yes, bring this player in to my program, that's a big deal. That's someone who is saying that this kid is going to also be able to help me feed my family, essentially, right? So for us, we find that it's ultra important to make sure that they're prepared when they're going on their college visits, when they're meeting with college coaches, to be able to put their best foot forward. And with that, that means making sure that they're able to talk football and be able to show what they know, which is even more important. I always tell my players when they come in there getting coached by me, they're going to get their PhD in football.
Nice.
Meaning we're going to peel back the layers of everything. And it takes time. It's not something that gets accomplished in, a summer or in 3 weeks, but it's an actual step-by-step program where you're bringing guys along and they're learning the game. Because I think what is different than maybe when I was playing and when even you guys were playing is that
I think you just said we're old.
Yeah, you did.
There's so many other interests.
I had to look away for a minute.
Yeah. A lot of these players have so many other interests and talents and things that they're good at. So it would be very silly of me to believe that they are going to be as obsessive when it comes to the game as much as I am at this point, maybe down the road. But what we want to try to do is get that obsessiveness in it through our process, right?
Well, you mentioned it before, accountability.
Right.
And not only accountability, but responsibility goes with that.
100%.
If this is what you want and this is what you want to focus on,
is what it looks
we can
like.
put you on a path to do that. But you have to be responsible for yourself, responsible to your teammates, your coaches, and, taking that accountability to another level.
100%.
Absolutely.
And legacy is a big thing that we always talk about within our team. as well, meaning someone helps you get to where you're at right now.
Yeah.
And the people that helps you get to where you're at right now are who you represent. So
Right.
all those sacrifices that people have made to allow you to get a great education, to be at a great school and have a big part of a great community, in order to give back, part of you giving back is to make sure that you're prepared, to make sure that you're locked in and focused, whether it's X's and O's or just our process alone.
You're a perfect example of that. Doing all these camps and doing what you do as a coach to better yourself as a coach so you can help the next generation move on to where they want to get to. And that's very commendable.
His wife gets a heck of a Christmas
No,
present.
she's a lovely lady.
She better. All the camps he's doing, my God. Wow.
She does.
Well, I know she supports him 100%.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely,
so-
definitely. And my entire family and friends are super ultra supportive, both in the coaching world as well as just in my regular life. They always are checking in on me. I can't thank them enough for that. They're always coming in supporting my games. My parents come in and fly it all the way from Ohio to come and watch
Really?
me coach and
That's
do
awesome.
those things. And without them, I wouldn't be able to do any of the things that I've been able to accomplish.
I mean, like I said, I've known you for quite a few years. I know what kind of guy you are. I met your parents. You come from a good family, and it shows. I mean, just knowing you brings that out. I mean, there's nothing. You don't hide anything from anybody, and I think you're a great guy, and I think you're a great coach, and I think this opportunity you have to be a head coach this young in your career says a lot about your dedication to the game and the people that you coach.
Yeah, and like I said before, I've had the opportunity to really just get that from a lot of people. Huge mentorship with assistant head coach over at Brown, Willie Edwards. I had the opportunity to coach the defense when Josh Lima, who's with the Jaguars now, was the head coach over at Cumberland High School. So I didn't roll out of bed and really just came into this opportunity. There were a lot of people that helped support it, even as as far as the parents and the players that I'm coaching for now. They were a huge component in the support of me becoming the head coach. So with that, I think altogether we've just really established a really cool and unique bond throughout this entire process.
That's awesome. We're going to wrap this up. We're going to take our last break. You can call in if you want. 508-222-1320. Head coach from Portsmouth Abbey football. He's in studio. You can call back again. Hope to hear you. We'll be right back.
And welcome back to 4 Deep Sports Talk here at WARA 1320 AM, here with the Portsmouth Abbey new football head coach still. And I want to get this started off with, I know like some coaches, when I played football, there's a big push to play like track, basketball, or something in the off season.
Yep.
What's your ideas about that? Like keep them moving, or do you have like lifts or stuff that you do in the off season?
So I'm a big component in playing multiple sports. I think it's helpful for athletic bodies to be able to do different movements throughout the year. As much as I am obsessed and love football and would love to have my guys 24/7 just, hitting the gym, doing all those things, I think it's really important to, one, from a mental aspect, be able to get away from the game. And the style that we play and the style that I try to coach is a very physical style. So them having time to do other sports that aren't as physical as the game of football, which we all know is extremely tough, and it takes certain types of kids already to even play that sport. I think it's really important to let guys also have other opportunities to show their athletic abilities. On our team right now, we have multiple guys who play different sports, whether it's basketball, lacrosse, hockey, all across the board. And for them, they know that they have to do a sport for every season. So even though football ends, we still do a lot through the process, whether it's them attending prospect camps, different showcases for recruiting. So they still have the access and the opportunities to do those things throughout the year. However, I am a big piece that if you want an athlete to reach their full potential, you want them being able to do a lot of different explosive things with their bodies. And a lot of times that means, shooting the basketball, hitting the baseball, doing wrestling, weightlifting, all of those aspects.
That's awesome. And I want to get into your more like team dynamic. How's your team looking this year? Like your O-line, you have some big
good,
up
yeah.
there?
So we have a really strong front. We have a kid, Braden Cummings, who is our center. He's kind of what we're building the entire offensive line around his skill set. Local kid out of Bristol, Rhode Island, which is awesome. Great leader, extremely smart player, can do a lot of different things athletically as well. About 6'2", 3+, so he can move and do a lot of things on the field. And we brought in a lot of guys in connection with that. We have some returning guys on the line as well. Through the aspect, our quarterback, Finn Loverme, is a really strong kid who's just has taken a massive leap over this past summer. Has every measurable you're looking for in a quarterback. 6'4", 205, can run, could throw it a mile.
Arm.
Yeah, very strong arm, and really has really honed in and done a lot of great things. He works with M2, which is one of the top quarterback training aspects and facilities in Massachusetts, that is really making waves as well. So having those two guys on the offensive end, they're kind of going to lead the two levels for us in terms of.
Now, earlier you said basing on the West Coast style offense,
Yep.
which sound like you got a pretty good offensive line, which you're not going to take the aspect of the running game out of that.
No, not at all. We have some really great running backs that are coming in as well that are really going to shape our run game. We have a tremendous offensive coordinator coming over, Matt Denigan, who was over at North Kingston. So he has coached quarterbacks for years, has had some really good success with a lot of quarterbacks and system there that pretty much prioritizes putting points on the board. So it'll be good to see how all of it merges and fits together. But ultimately, all of our guys know that the real work has to happen. There is no
Everything
gimmies
comes
at
off
all.
the run.
Yep, exactly. And we're going to base it off of that. We have Keelan Taylor, who is coming in he's a Boston kid, and we'll be pairing him up with some other backs as well in the backfield to really give us that type of thunder lightning approach to our game. But as we all know, it all starts up front on both sides of the ball, right? Whether it's defensive line with my guy Madden LaBerge, who's a stud coming out of Canada on the back end.
Canada.
Oh yeah.
Caramba.
Yep. So our team has we're very unique in the aspect that we have a very huge Canadian presence in our football team.
Wow.
Some of our best players hail from Montreal. Regan Appleby is a stud who's really going to do a lot of great things, has already started to. Ethan Patulli, middle linebacker, tight end, 6'3", 245, going into a sophomore year.
I was telling Dominic before we started the show, we're in the middle of July. I'm going on vacation this coming week. When I get back, it's going to be strictly football season as far as I'm concerned. Baseball's done.
It's full go.
When are you planning on starting your training camp?
So we're really unique. Obviously, being a prep school, we have guys all over the country. So really how we like to do it is these guys are really good at just being self-motivated, self-driven. When you talk about the level of athlete in the prep world, they already understand what it's like to get prepared and to get their bodies right. And it all goes back to that accountability that we talked about. In college, very similar, right? You're going to show up, there's going to be a test, and you're going to have to pass that test or there's going to be consequences, right? So our guys have really aligned themselves to that aspect of knowing that they're in charge of getting their bodies ready. They have all the resources. We put together an extremely great off-season plan for them in terms of what they need to do nutrition-wise, goal-wise, if they're trying to gain weight, lose weight, whatever it may be, we have it already intact. And then we'll obviously have some virtual meetings, and then we'll be coming together with a lot of the Class A schools as well as another Class C school in terms of getting our training camp together for a preseason camp in August. So it'll be very challenging for us in terms of making sure that we have all of our ducks in a row, right? I have to make sure myself, right, talk about accountability, that I have everything in order as well to make sure that we have a good season, because the guys are working hard for it, and I have to make sure that I hold up my end of the bargain as well. It's not just players who wins games. It's not just coaches that wins games. It's not just any singular person. It takes everybody. It takes, school support. It takes the parents who buy in, which I can't say enough good things about the parents that I've gotten to connect with, both through recruiting as well as just being able to coach, how much they pour into their kids resource-wise, financially, and support is astronomical. So
we've had other head coaches in from different schools, different areas, and we've asked the question. I'll ask the question to you: school administration, how's that support come from them being a private school?
Oh, it's
compared to a public school.
It's been great. We have a great staff. We have a great admissions office as well as a great head of school, Matt Walter, who really has invested in not just our football program, but as well as just the community in general, which has made it a very much easier job for me when it comes to that aspect, because having the support of administration in your admissions is super great because it helps the transition become more seamlessly, right? For
Absolutely.
both families and the recruiting aspect, as well as for those looking to have that familiar face on campus that they had when they went through the process.
Do you have any?
Well, we're getting ready to run down. I didn't mean to cut you off, but we're getting ready to run down. I want to make sure we give him a Zata boy, and for Jimmy and all of us at 4 Deep Sports. Jim, I didn't mean to cut you up.
That's fine.
We got like 30 seconds because Jim could go another 2 hours.
Oh,
I could. I could.
we probably will after.
Yeah, right. But all of us, the radio station WARA wants to wish you guys the best this year, and congrats on the new gig.
Thank you. I
and
appreciate
all of us
that.
here at 4 Deep Sports again want to wish you again congrats. Great, all the best. For Jim Servia, Jacob Janicki, I'm Dominic Damiano. We hope you enjoyed this hour of 4 Deep Sports Talk. We'll catch you next time.